paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, it's all right, refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Brainstorm Brewery. I'm Corbin Hostler, and tonight we have a crew on the cast. It is 5 people, but don't worry. I'm going to make everybody at home happy. I'm going to keep it low-key for myself. I'm going to
Dibs on Captain.
let them have the floor. Dibs on
Didn't
crew.
we have a
Dibs on
Just
Captain.
What does
DJ
that
episode?
mean? Are you the imposter? Is that the, like, what are you dibsing here?
You said we're a crew, so I'm Dibsing Captain.
Oh.
Corbin can be the poop deck swabber. I don't know, like...
DJ's the imposter. That's all I got out of that. But welcome back. DJ's here, Jason's here, I'm here, Cass is here, and we have a special guest tonight. One who plays a casual format of Magic you might have heard of, and it's not Commander. So we'll get to that in a little bit. Matt Hetzner, welcome on to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, we're glad to have you here. Jason said that you are one of his most loyal Wednesday night watchers of the BSB stream while we were doing that. So thank you for tuning in.
I didn't say anything nice about Matt.
I'll thank
It's
you.
not necessarily a compliment.
I'll
Don't
take
put it
you
in the paper that I was
No.
nice to Matt.
I will thank you for tuning in. So we appreciate it. We're glad to have you on. So with that said, Matt, tell us a little about yourself. What's your background? How did you get into Magic, and what do you do in Magic these days?
Well, I started back in the original Portal, so I've been probably the only person that actually started Magic with that product. So 97, got my DCI number in the Urza Saga pre-release, so I've been around for a bit. And right around, I don't know, 2007 or so, probably around the time that Kamigawa, the original Kamigawa came out, all the cards were so overcosted, it was hard to actually get a game in any time. EDH wasn't yet a thing. And so we got into Type 4. And that just allowed us to play a spell per turn, infinite mana, and allowed you to play all these big, splashy spells that weren't playable in Standard and couldn't really find a home in 60-card Casual.
For reference for the viewers, for anyone wondering what the other 3 types are, Type 1 is Vintage, Type 1.5 is Legacy, Type 2 is Standard, and I have no goddamn idea what Type 3 is.
What about
straight to
2.5?
Extended.
Was Type
You
3
forgot
extended?
extended in there. Extended was a type.
These
Yeah,
are all
Legacy-
90s terms here for sure.
Yeah, Legacy wasn't
Yeah.
really a thing. Extended wasn't really a thing. It was more like that 1.5 middle ground thing. But Type 4 was just a way for us to play cards that weren't playable anywhere else.
We
So-
actually discovered the Sovereigns of Lost Alara combo before Standard did, playing Type 4. And we're like, man, you just grab... we had something dumb in there that wasn't even as good as Eldrazi Conscription because it hadn't been printed yet. Like Celestial Mantle or something like that. We're like, this is busted.
Yeah. Well, there you go. We'll dig into that here in a little bit. I've never played Type 4 myself, so I'm interested to hear about it. Also coming up, some number of us are going to be at MagicCon Philly. I'll be there doing a coverage of the Pro Tour. Cass, TJ, I believe you'll both be selling. And Jason, what are your plans? Are you going to the show?
Drugs. I was graciously gifted a badge by Mr. Shivam Bhatt. Check out his endeavors online. I love to shout out people much bigger than me. It's
So
fun,
just
like,
a little favor.
there's this
you
content
do.
creator I'd love to turn you guys on to. His name's Shivam. He's got some pretty good ideas about ADH. Yeah, he's a great guy. So, he hooked me up with a badge, so I will be going to the convention center. Because otherwise, I was just going to hang out in Reading Terminal, and our buddy Slick Jagger is back from a long Magic hiatus, and he is launching a new secret project I don't know if he wants me to tell people that, screw it. 100 people listen to this podcast total. He's going to be launching his new brand, Cubeheads. Nobody's making good cube content these days, and so we're going to do a big party at the Ritz-Carlton for that. So that's awesome. What I'll be doing in Philly, just hanging out with a really good buddy that I, haven't seen in a long time. And I'll be at the convention center also, slinging some EDH, so just hit me up on Twitter, I guess.
Jason's going for a little bit of the gathering, and there might be some magic.
I'll be mobile. That's you know where to find DJ. He sits in a chair for 10 hours, but I'll be I will be elusive. I will be wearing conspicuous clothing, but I will still be elusive. Yeah.
Cash, do you have changing out tracksuits every time you walk by different colored buildings, just blending in.
Can't find Jason to say hi. No one can find Jason to say that they like the podcast. He's got his entire wardrobe to blend in and be no one.
I think that wearing a giant red tracksuit is very conspicuous. I've used it to pick out myself in every episode of BattleBots so far this season.
I don't think I'd approach somebody wearing a red tracksuit. The only time I've ever seen anyone wear tracksuits, they're just like bad guys, but not even good bad guys, like low-level bad.
The $6 Million Man was the first guy to wear a red tracksuit on television. You tell me the $6 Million Man was the bad guy in that show?
No one knows what that is,
from Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
Yeah,
right, you and Matt know what that is. The rest of us don't.
The $6 Million Man? Come on.
That was like a huge show in the 90s?
Is that
the 1970s.
Is that
I wasn't born then. It's all the same to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Cass.
Exactly.
We're equating the 70s and the 90s. Please don't. My spine will turn to dust.
But the point is, I know who the $6 Million Man is because Family Guy did a bit on it,
Yeah, Adventure Brothers. It's part of the zeitgeist. Yeah.
Sure thing, Boomer.
Oh, how dare you?
But I'm glad you'll be there. Cass, what's your plan?
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Like Lou Ferrigno? remember when Lou Ferrigno would turn into the Incredible Hulk?
It was already incredible. And a Hulk.
Incredible.
Anyways, I'll be covering the Pro Tour. It'll be interesting. I'm picking all the features. It'll be a fun, busy time for me. Cass, do you have any tips for anybody going to Philly? Have you vended there before?
Yeah, I lived pretty close there for a while. There's a lot of good food there. I'm not a cheesesteak person, so I can't recommend you on that. But Herschel's and the Reading Terminal Market, go there absolutely. And if you want a real spendy, fancy sit-down meal, my favorite place in the city is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's like $100 a head tasting menu type place.
200.
But is it 200 now?
It's 200 now.
Oh well,
super worth it.
I haven't been in a while, but it is among the best meals I've ever had. I don't remember their head chef's name, but that person is on some good.
Good to know. I personally will find the what's the word? Oh, Chipotle. That's the word. I'll find the Chipotle.
that old Chipotle.
If you go to a Chipotle that is farther away from the convention center than Reading Terminal, you're off the podcast, man.
I gotta agree. You can just eat a pound of pastrami on rye and eat that while you're in the convention center. Why would you eat Chipotle when you could do that?
I had a meatloaf sandwich on challah bread that changed my entire life.
It's funny. You all think I'm going to be able
from
to
a deli in Reading Terminal. If you go to Chipotle, I'm not
going to be able to get out of my seat.
I was just fed Amish chocolates all throughout Eternal Weekend, like grapes on a vine. Just
DJ and I are just going to be like, hey, Stu, can you bring us some Amish chocolate and a delicious sandwich? And Stu will be like, yeah, of course. Pays to have friends.
It does. Especially when they do
the paying. What's the quote from you, Cass? Being likable was monetized is something.
One of the most important skills in the industry is being likable.
Yeah,
it's got to monetize.
You can monetize that real easily.
It's it's where you're laughing about. Look, it's what is it a Q score? Is it an R score?
Jerry Thompson wrote an article on social currency that changed my life, is what I'm saying.
I think it's an R score. Maybe I could be getting it wrong.
We can't say that.
In the media, there's a score for how likable somebody is.
I think Community did an episode on that. It was called Meow Meow Beans, and it did not end.
Oh no, it is. It's a Q score. It's a Q score, but I didn't want to say that in case I was getting confused with QAnon. But no, it's a Q score. It's a familiarity and appeal of a brand, celebrity, or company.
I knew it was either a rating of your appeal or that guy from Star Trek. I couldn't remember.
One of those. Anyway, well, I'll tell you one place that has an extremely high Q score. That would be MTG Stocks, the generous sponsor of this podcast. The best place on the internet. Jason is in shock because of how good that transition was. How awesome of a setup that was. I agree.
It was a little forced, sir.
I agree. It was incredible. You should go to MTG Stocks. You should check it out. They have the best information. You can go to the premium side of the website, which we highly recommend. You can use that to set up alerts, to have trends that are expanded. Lots of data back there behind the paywall that is worth checking out. MTG Stocks. Also, the place where we get all of our picks of the week in Breaking Bulk, because those graphs are invaluable, especially in a time where Wizards of the Coast has killed all of their past content on the mothership, and maybe it'll be back at a future date, maybe not. I lost like 10 years of content. Oops. But MTG Stocks has graphs going back to the beginning of time.
One of the most relevant parts of this is being able to check the interest on Card Kingdom and their buy list. So you can actually see changes in CK buy list. And, this Breaking Bulk used to be 18 cents. Wait, they're buying 41 of them at 60 cents? Let me go dig real quick. Yeah. That's definitely one of the more monetizable things about this.
Yeah, just having that information at a glance is fantastic.
For sure.
We would all pay for MTG Stocks Premium.
You can use it for our Breaking Bulk, the segment in which everyone tries, and one person, it just comes naturally.
Breaking Bulk time. Breaking Bulk time. Break.
Oh, yeah, Breaking Bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking Bulk. The end.
It would be so smooth if I didn't keep calling attention to it. He's really trying to just really seamlessly go from segment to segment, and I'm just not going to let that happen.
I love that.
Commander.
Be a problem.
Commander 2015. Blue. Uncommon. Creature.
Commander, was that the Teferi?
No. C15 was the enemy color pairings.
Oh, okay.
Blue uncommon creature.
Blue uncommon?
What are the commanders from this set?
A Breaking Bulk expert would know that.
C15?
It's like Mizzix and Azuri.
Oh, I know what those pictures look like. Okay.
Yeah.
A blue uncommon.
Yeah, so the experience...
There's a couple.
That Mizzix deck would...
Is it like some sort of Archaeomancer variant?
It is not.
It's either that or the Squid, right? Where it gets +1/+1 counters for every time you draw a card.
Chasm Skulker? That is a rare.
That's a rare. Yeah.
It does draw cards. Plural.
Is that that? Oh, is it that that 6-mana enchantment?
Nope, it's a creature.
Toothy.
Oh, it's a creature. Wow.
Toothy.
Toothy was from Battle Bond.
Toothy was Battle Bond, bro.
And also is a rare.
Is also a rare.
There's lots that's wrong with that. A Breaking Bulk expert would know all the things that are wrong with what Corbin said.
Is the Fact or Fiction Sphinx?
Doomed.
The only reprinting is the list, so that doesn't really count. But the reprint is not really a Breaking Bulk, but the original printing still is. This is Broodbirth Viper. It is the Myriad uncommon cycle. So there's a cycle.
That's not a green card?
It's blue.
That's a blue card?
I'm with Jason. That's horseshit.
I could have sworn that was a green. That's why I didn't say it. It's a blue snake.
Me too, for sure.
It's got flash, right?
It does not have flash. It just has Myriad, and when it deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. 5 mana 3/3. So I mean, you attack one
so
player.
It's like an Ophidian. It has to be blue. Dang, I for real. Oran Viper existing made me think that had to be green.
What was the name of this card, DJ?
Broodbirth Viper. Card Kingdom pays you a nickel on it. I list them for around 70 cents. And then I get half that when they sell on direct. But you just try to protect the original and then let the clones do their thing. And hopefully you draw a couple cards every turn. It's very, very budget card. You can do parallel lives things because it's not legendary. You can
Sure.
Hopefully draw a lot of cards with this if you're playing a budget deck.
All right. Jason, what do you got?
Oh, you'll like this one. It's from Jumpstart.
Original Jumpstart?
2022.
Oh,
No, the new one.
Oh, go.
And that was the only time that it has been printed, and it is a white uncommon creature.
Is it the one that gains life and blinks things?
If I had a white flag,
Distinguished
I would
Conjurer. Corbin, actually, I have to give it to him.
I did
he
it!
Had that. You hip fired. That was incredible.
Didn't somebody pick this recently or no?
No, shut up, DJ.
How the fuck would I know that, DJ?
Shut up, DJ.
I'm not accusing Corbin. I'm just asking questions over here.
Just asking
How
questions,
would I know
guys.
what's been a breaking bulk in the last,
You wouldn't, and that's why I'm just asking a round table
No,
question.
stop it. We don't need fact checkers here, DJ. You are dismissed from the fact checking conversation. Jason, go ahead.
DJ's Q score
Okay,
is
so I
sinking.
knew I was. You know what? I wasn't suspicious. I was actually proud of Corbin.
DJ, get off the spreadsheet, DJ. I can see you. Get off the spreadsheet.
I remember Corbin getting me with this one. Is why I want to rip this trophy from his cold, dead hands.
Well, you got twice now, didn't you?
That's true. He wouldn't have got it. That's the best part.
Isn't Distinguished Conjurer the gift that keeps on giving? Isn't it funny that Corbin didn't know the name of it, even though it was his breaking bulk previously?
I was scrolling
That's
up
another part I love, where he's like, it's the guy from the thing.
I was scrolling up in the spreadsheet.
Distinguished Conjurer. So,
all right, good for you. That card's lit.
Yeah. I like it, too, for the same reason. I think White's doing blinky stuff now. Get your Prince Charmings. That was probably a pick of mine. Yeah, just get your blinky stuff.
Charming Prince is a good one. The card's
Everybody's playing the same stupid Elish Norn deck.
Yeah. All right, I've got another, in my humble, excellent pick. This is a Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate colorless uncommon. I'm sorry, let me repeat that. It's a colorless common.
Colorless common from whom?
Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate.
Is it the art like the 4-mana artifact that gives you the initiative like the torch?
Nope.
No, there's a mana rock also. There's a 3-mana mana rock that does something good. I forget what it is. Wipes a yard, maybe.
Hey, Roka, what's this card?
Yeah.
Roka, tell me the card. Sorting machine.
Oh, DJ's replaced his brain with his Roka, and he's discovered the limitations.
That was really sad watching you try to call out to the Roka.
DJ's just gonna have a
Tom Hanks in Castaway. Roka!
He has his cell phone right next to him. He looks. You ask the Roka. Jason,
I
you were
have
on the right
decided
track.
I've decided to specialize my breaking bulk expertise. I'm gonna be the best at naming cards when it's my turn, and the worst at naming cards if you name a card that came out in the last 4 years.
Well,
that's my specialty.
Good that you have a brand.
I'm just surprised that Baldur's Gate has any cards.
Corbin. Oh, so I know this is uncommon, right?
It's a common.
Oh, it's a common.
You're right.
I think that thing I'm thinking about was uncommon.
No, you're right, Jason.
It's the mana rock.
It's Decanter of Endless Water. It's a
Decanter of Endless Water.
You have no maximum hand size. It's $2.
Oh, that's the other mode. Yeah, that's a great card.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate has so much stuff that like EDH players are still just now discovering. That was a year worth of good EDH cards in one set, and as soon as it came out, they started spoiling the next set, and nobody got a chance to enjoy it.
I mean, I'm a little surprised because Manolith, not exactly tearing it up in Commander.
Nor should it.
Well, and what the 2-mana rock that gives you no maximum hand size.
Thought Vessel's awesome.
Thought Vessel, yeah, not exactly a staple these days. It's like fine. So I was a little surprised to see this card be worth money, but hey, I guess people like those effects.
They've been really trying to make those 3-mana rocks work. I hope they do find a good mana rock that does it. Cursed Mirror is my favorite.
Yeah.
But
I love Cursed Mirror.
I think there's a lot of great ones. Midnight Clock is my favorite.
Chromatic Lantern's fine, honestly.
Yeah.
Chromatic
Definitely a
Lantern
lot of
saves you like a
four-color
ton on
decks.
mental energy.
I know, it's just like,
Yeah.
I will tap 4 lands. I'm good.
There's the new one, Glistening Sphere.
That one's very good, yeah.
Yeah,
That just sounds
geez,
dirty, also.
Darksteel Ingot has fallen so far. It's
has.
sad.
If they printed Chromatic Lantern today, I think people would be over the moon. Like, what if that card? Because people, if you think about it, people are like, is that card good enough anymore? Blah, blah, blah. This is sort of a topic of discourse. If that card didn't exist and was printed today, I think it would be in every commander deck. That's how
Yeah, I don't
strongly
know.
I feel about that card.
Honestly,
think
I
that
was
card's
playing
very
the
good.
banners after they printed Commander Sphere, so, like, what do I know? I'm not Mr. Current Events. I still wish it was a bulk rare format, frankly.
Fair enough. All right. Cass, we'll let you go in next. What is your Breaking Bolt?
I have a blue Throne of Eldraine rare.
Midnight
Is
Clock.
Fae of Wishes worth something yet?
Nope.
Okay.
Midnight Clock.
Shimmer Dragon?
Nope.
This is a breaking bulk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shimmer Dragon cannot possibly be bulk.
It's not, but it's like a weird card that's not in the actual set, so it's like it gets passed over.
A blue rare from Eldraine.
Does it turn a bunch of tokens into creatures or something?
Nope. Are you being cheeky and is it multicolored?
I don't think so.
No cheeks here.
Because I was going to guess Dance from the Mance.
Dance of the Mance. Just because we like to say Dance of the Mance.
Dance of the Mance. That card's cool.
No, it's mono blue.
Vantress Gargoyle.
Nope.
That was a good guess.
I think you guessed all of the rares in the set that are blue except for this one, so I'm calling this a win.
Is it a vehicle?
No.
Eldraine didn't have...
You're thinking of the one from War of the Spark, the shitty submarine?
Yeah.
That submarine is... Silent Submersible is lit.
Corbin knows the name of it because it's technically a merfolk card.
No, I played it in Arch.
I know the name of that card because I had like 17 War of the Spark sheets cut, 17 foil war sheets cut, and then one person DM'd me when I posted them for sale on Twitter, and they said, "Give me all the submarines," and I was like, "Okay, all yours, bud."
He was on a hunt for the Blue October.
Favorite sale of that entire thing. Like, it's
how good
always...
was that? Blue October is the name of an actual band. That was perfect.
I'm gonna give you Jason. That was
thanks.
Anyway,
Any
reveal
final
your
guesses?
secrets.
My secrets?
Keep your secrets then. Hold up.
There's
Corbin's
5
gonna-
blue rares in the set you have not guessed yet, and one of them is the correct answer.
We should be able to get this. I know that
Why?
set.
I mean, like...
I got to win here. I'm just saying. Corbin is
You do?
stumped.
I'm not...
You've
I'm
already
not
won.
doubting.
Now you're just rubbing. You're doing a victory lap right now.
It's only because
I
Corbin
dig
was
it,
so
actually.
cocky.
The Fairy Expel.
Nope.
What even like?
Oh, stolen from the Fae? Yeah, that's a good guess.
Not that one.
That is a good guess.
Vantress
yeah, it's not
Gargoyle, I
Emery
thought was
either.
a good guess also.
It's not Emery.
Stolen by the Fae is good in Type 4, so you know.
All right, I'm over it, Cass. What's the answer?
Folio of Fancies. It does 3 things
Oh,
commander players
yep.
want.
Yep.
Yeah.
No max hand size, group hug card draw, and Mills players. That card
I
violates
s-
the Card Kingdom for 52 cents.
I
Nice.
sell so many of these
Whoa.
for like $2.59 or something like that. So
Yeah.
many of these for like...
That-
this card
they-
has a very
that
good
card's
direct
good.
premium usually.
That card was also killer if you opened it in draft or in sealed in that format.
And I want to
Speaking
say
of
one,
folios, you can check out the folio at Original Magic Art.
Yeah, this card is... This has such a good direct premium for context. Oh my god, the direct premium is even more now, but if you go to like the seller page, it'll say TCG lowest listing 30 cents with $1.25 shipping. TCG last sold listing 89 cents with 89-cent shipping. The market price is like $2.50 and the direct premium is $5 right now. So like this is just a card and the person buying it does not want to care what the price is.
Wow.
That's
I
wild.
want more for my bulk next time, DJ.
Yeah.
Every day we get a little closer to me handing my cards to DJ.
I'm patient.
I know.
I'm patient.
If you come get them, you can have all this shit.
For what it's worth, I found this 5 minutes before the cast started on mtgstocks.com.
There you go. All right. Last but not least, Matt, I heard you came prepared.
I did.
Look, these three have been pretty mid so far, so why don't you see if you can finish the segment on a strong note for us?
Well,
so Cass was mid anyway.
Right, yeah. So I've been trying to sell my bulk to Ryan these days, former cast member and extraordinaire, and picking my bulk from the lessons that I've learned from this podcast over the years.
If you send Ryan a card worth 3 cents, he's going to text you about it.
Yeah, this one I'd be embarrassed if it was still left in the bulk, but it's a black uncommon from the first Commander Legends.
Is it legendary?
It is not.
Okay.
Is it the one where when tokens leave play, you drain them?
Good boy. Played.
That's a throwback.
Don't like that.
That's a throw. For anyone, go listen to the After Hours, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, the After Hours that'll be 5 weeks from now, and you won't put two and two together.
You'll
Hilarious. It's a callback for us.
Matt,
we're rubbing in your face that there are things you don't know about the cast.
Matt, go ahead.
Meteor's Nightblade. Yeah, whenever a token you control leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses one.
Oh, it's the elf.
Yeah, it's the elf warrior.
Nice.
Oh.
And it's according to Scryfall, almost $1.50.
The most insane thing about this card is it was designed right when they were really high on putting once per turn on everything, and they just forgot to do it on this one.
And there's a treasure, like, it's a token, not creature token, a token. It's nuts.
Oh, goodness, yeah. And there's going to be even more, like, Power Stone tokens, all kind of shit like that sacrificed now.
Yeah, I had forgot this card existed.
It's the battlefield. You can punish someone for psych rifting you. It's great.
See, trust a lawyer to actually read a Magic card.
No,
Cat.
Yeah, we got
Cat.
We got Cat o'clock.
I don't want to see the blurry cat. I want to see actual cat.
Well, the only time we can see the cat's butthole is when it's directly in front of you. It's
you get the true Eye of Sauron in here. You want uppies? What's going on here?
Yeah,
we got a cat sighting. There you go. And on that note, let's move on to our next topic, which is going to be the Type 4 and the variants we've played. Look, these days, everybody talks about Commander. If they're not talking about Commander, they're talking about EDH. They're not talking about that. They're complaining about how they don't know there's a Pro Tour, which is in 2 weeks, people. With all of that said, there are other variants of Magic. I had somebody the other day trying to convince me to play some kind of weird star format with a bomb in a Commander variant. I've been sent promotional materials by people who have designed their own sub-Commander game. Like the point is people go very deep, but there's some classics. Mental Magic. There's Type 4. There's actual Highlander. And all of these
Wizard's
things
Tower is a big popular
Wizard's Tower. Is that Judge Stack?
Judge Tower is the one I'm familiar with.
Oh, yeah. Judge Tower. What is Wizard's Tower?
I think they're different.
I think it's a former vendor.
Maybe. All right. Anyway, though, Matt, tell us about Type 4. You're the Type 4 aficionado. That's what our show notes say. So what does Type 4 look like in the year 2023?
Yeah, so there's been a couple of innovations. So the original rule set was just infinite mana, 1 spell per turn. And we've adapted that a little bit more, where if you use an alternate cost for your spell, it doesn't count as your spell for the turn. So, you cast your Force of Will by discarding a card and losing a life, or exiling a card. That's not your spell for the turn. Now, you cast a creature with Morph. You can do that in addition to everything else. So, it allows you to kind of have a speedier game, have a little bit more interaction, and overall more interaction while you're playing your game.
And this is like a single box, right? It's not like multiple people have to bring decks. It's just you carry out a 400 count box or a one row, and it's like that's your thing.
That's the appeal, right? Like you mentioned, it's something you can just do in between rounds.
Yeah,
I'd be surprised if Matt's ever leaves his house, though.
Yeah, mine's all foil and it's got a bunch of old cards in it. So, it's a long-term project here. But the way that there's all sorts of variants of Type 4 where you can have it as a single stack of cards. You all have a shared library. You can do it sealed. the way I do it is we draft it, because that's what we like
okay.
doing, is drafting with a free-for-all multiplayer aspect. So anywhere from 4 players to the biggest one I ever did was 12. And you draft up your decks and play a multiplayer game. 20 life, 5-card opener, and play your big spells. So it's a lot of great fun options that have high mana value that you normally don't see in any other format.
It's like playing Commander in 2014.
It's honestly like playing a game like Epic or something like that. It's just all haymakers all the time.
Epic, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's just a nice way of having a casual game that's low stakes, and it's hard to feel bad because it's not like real Magic, and you're playing with my cards. You're not, or whoever's hosting it, right? You don't have to worry about constructing it yourself. So it's a form of limited.
Yeah.
So like Obelisk of Alara, the resounding cards where you cycle and they have a big effect.
Obelisk of Alara. That is that's a nice.
And the big appeal that we have going on with mine is a booster tutor package. So I pack the first pack that you draft with booster tutor variants. So you get the OG booster tutor, some in the pack, the latest one from Infinity, opening ceremony, which we had to errata a little bit to make it work in Type 4. But it's about the experience rather than the rule set. But a lot of it is door to nothingness, eating a willbender, that kind of stuff is what's going on here.
Really, using Plague Wind as a terror always feels so good.
Yeah, that's a lot of that kind of stuff. Where your sorcery speed removal, no matter how good, is going to have some limitations. One of the more memorable games that we had saw a Tatsumasa face off against an Emrakul. So Tatsumasa is an equipment from Champions
of Kamigawa.
Champions, yeah.
Where if you can pay 5 mana and turn it into a dragon token, and if the dragon token dies, the sword comes back. So Emrakul would attack into this thing. You'd create your you have infinite mana, so there's no resource limit there. You create your dragon token, sacrifice it to the Annihilator trigger, turn it back into the dragon, block. You still have your dragon. You can turn it back into the dragon, attack, and so you're beating Emrakul with this bulk rare from Champions of Kamigawa.
It's got a cool name though. I look it up. It means like dragon tail or something like that. I was like, that's cool. I wonder what Tatsunari means. It means fairy tale. See, yeah, Tatsumasa is a way cooler name.
And so it's an opportunity to play cards that are like this, that are forgotten chaff at the bottom of your collection. And you don't have to get all the expensive versions like I did. You can make it out of whatever. A lot of what this started as is just draft chaff from
people's rare binders. You would just take all your big dumb 7 mana spells and just put them in a pile.
13 cents a piece, and here, okay, I'm going to use these 13/13s that I never get to play anywhere else and see what they can do.
It is great how many people will find a new way to play Magic. It is just the rule set, and that's how I started my Gonti deck. I'm going to build a deck, only heavily played or damaged cards out of my own inventory because I wanted to scale to the play group, pick Gonti. And then in Indy this weekend, somebody came up to me and they said, hey, will you play Flip It or Rip It with me? I know your Gonti deck, and every card that gets destroyed during Flip It or Rip It games, I get to put into this Gyruda deck. So she had cards that were just like effectively taped back together, and that was the growing point of the deck.
You gotta be careful with that one, DJ. The anger people have when they see your Gonti deck, when they think that just maybe you damaged the cards yourself. You just see that glint of rage in their eye.
Oh yeah, I am innocent here. Gonti is an orphanage for lost souls of just damaged cards. I don't break them. This person, and I don't begrudge them for it, but this person is partaking in the destroying, and so did I for this little game. The card I flipped for the Flip It or Rip It game, I destroyed a Dothy Voidwalker, which is the perfect card thematically for me as a Gonti player. as a Sig River Cutthroat player, because that's the card I play in Sig Tribal Rogues, and it's also the best card for this person's Gyruda deck because it's an even CMC black card that can go in their deck. So, like, everything went perfectly.
And those emotional experiences are exactly why we, experiment with these kinds of rule sets, right? Where it's about that journey, and you hit it, and it's just like, let's spin that wheel again because that was great.
Yeah, every time you get to
I
play
think
that.
that's what we said on Twitter. Like, people, what's the appeal of flip it or rip it? I was like, if you open booster packs by the caseload, opening a pack doesn't mean, but playing flip it or rip it, that's a good story about opening a pack. Pack battle's a fun way to open a pack, but when it's become just like a chore that you have to do, you're just like, oh, I got to open all these booster packs tonight and get all this stuff inventoried. Like, it stops being fun at that point. So having a fun way to open a pack, even if it's,
That's how I trick all my friends in opening my booster packs, is by having them play Type 4 and casting booster 2.
Yeah. Yeah, so Matt,
right.
could you speak to that a little bit? Because one reason I wanted you to have to be on the cast tonight was to tell us about your booster pack collection. Because that's, with the unique take you have on your Type 4 pile, having all those booster tutors, what do you do for booster packs, and how does that remain affordable?
Well, it's become a lot more difficult in recent history. It seemed like pack prices have really exploded over the last just few years. But really, the main source I had were local game stores. I had a position a few years ago that allowed me to travel pretty extensively throughout the Midwest, and I could visit local game stores in Michigan, Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and hunt for deals. And every once in a while, I'd go to something like Red Raccoon Games in Bloomington, Illinois, and they'd have an Exodus pack for sale at a reasonable price. And it's like, let's do it, man. And so I had an Exodus pack for a while. Or I go to, Level Up in Superior, Wisconsin.
So the for a while part of that statement is what's wild to me, because most people who collect booster packs, that is forever. That is a piece that is not getting opened. It's not getting.
Yeah.
It's just going into a vault or going into a big box to be looked at and posted on Facebook. Like you said, you had an Exodus pack for a while, which meant that you don't anymore, and that somebody got to cast a card and pray that they open a Survival of the Fittest. That's so much cooler.
Yeah, booster tutored right into it, right? And do I have any memory of what that was in it? No. No, I don't.
But that person probably does.
But they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember booster tutoring into a revised pack, and it ended up being like, what's the volcano card? That's like X.
Volcanic Eruption.
A volcanic eruption?
Is it
the Blue Mountain Destruction card?
Yeah, what you're thinking
this is awful. So like some of these really old packs too, you'd think, oh well, I'll booster tutor into Fallen Empires or something. It's going to be so awful, and then in Type 4, you end up with one of those infinite power knights that has protection from something, and it's just like, oh my god.
Well, you're also set up for the future Chaos draft at the same time.
Yeah, I do make my way through these packs pretty fast though, so that's why I say it's been an expensive proposition to stay packed up.
Yeah.
The oldest pack I have right now is Guild Pact. Those I seek out, Guild Pact in particular, because of pyromantics at common. So if a game can't be broken or whatever, people booster tutor into it, hoping that they'll be able to hit some and the game common.
Booster Tutor's a pretty fun card. Good for Wizard.
That's another reason to play Type 4, is that it's an outlet for your silver cards. Well, or acorn cards, I guess.
Your acorn cards. My 6-year-old's been going through some of the bulk I gave him, and I had to explain acorns to him at some point, and I was like, I think maybe we've gone too far on our children's card game. I can't even begin to explain this to him.
But then you have to learn lessons in Type 4, like, Nihilistic Glee, a bulk rare from Dissension, Enchantment. Yeah. You think, well, that's a card I could probably put in Type 4, where you have to pay life to draw cards. You have to discard cards to have your target opponent lose 1 life and you gain 1 life. Turns out, no, that card's completely broken when you remove the mana element, and you could just pay life, get into cards that have flashback or produce value in some other way, and you realize just how close some of these god-awful cards are to being completely broken. So it's a fun time.
That's a good way to put it, too, honestly. Because
one of my favorite variants of this is Judge's Tower, where it's a similar rule set where everyone plays from the same deck. You all draw X amount of cards, and I believe it's 1 spell per turn too. But one of the rules is that everybody has to play every card they draw as soon as possible. And everybody, like, if you can take a game action, you have to perform a game action. And everyone has infinite life. And the first person to commit a game rules violation loses the game.
Yep.
Wow.
So,
it's
basic
for
lands.
Judges.
Basic lands have to be tapped to add mana as soon as possible, or else you will lose the game. When you draw Thunderous Wrath, Corbin, what happens when you draw Thunderous Wrath?
The Miracle card?
Yes.
You'd have to Miracle it immediately, right?
And then you'd lose the game because you didn't cast it in response to the Miracle for its normal cost.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree.
Jesus.
I have played this game with Judges before after events, and it is kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie. Because obviously they're stacked. Because you can do it with just like booster packs, right? This is a way to just do a pack war. You can just open your boosties at the end of the tournament and do it. But you can also play with a predetermined stack of judge cards that are made to be as confusing as possible to quiz other judges, and this is like a form of training / fun
It's
for the people who are Magic judges.
It is hazing.
Hazing.
Well, we talk about finding fun ways to play Magic, and you mentioned like opening booster packs. I actually am a big Pai Gow fan. Magic Pai Gow is one of my favorite ways to play. And Type 4 just kind of sounds like constructed Pai Gow, which I'm super here for.
Explain Magic Pai Gow to people. I'd actually forgotten about that one. That was huge for a minute.
Yeah, it was really big among like tournament grinders between rounds. Each person opens a booster pack, and then you separate the cards into 5 3-card piles.
Oh, I loved this.
And you have infinite mana. I believe you can play as many spells as you want in a turn. Each player has 5 life. Lava Axe is very good in the format, which makes me ask the question: is Searing Wind in Type 4 stack? Which I'd hope so. Have the prophecy point on everything.
So with Pai Gow,
I think that entire cycle's in there, right?
Not only is Searing Wind in there, but also the enchantment that gives cards rebound. So I have died before I've taken a turn because my good friend Miles decided he was going to Searing Wind, rebound, Searing Wind. I'm out. All right. Good games, guys. Sorry, Pai Gow.
The best part about the Pai Gow is that it became very meta, where it was like, okay, well, do I put 2 good cards in this stack? Like, do I put a removal spell and a good creature in this stack?
Yeah, so
you tried to win 3 of your 5 battles.
Yeah, but both players have 5 decks of 3 cards.
Yeah.
Which means
so you just make a dud sometimes, right, to get your unplay, because some card just literally wouldn't do anything right.
We have a basic land in a lot of packs.
Yeah. But it's like, do you try to win give yourself a chance in every hand, or do you want to just have a complete dump hand where you're going to lose it, but
most of the time I like to have
cards.
I like to have just a full dump hand and win 3 out of 4.
Yeah, I think that's the meta.
Well, because you're probably going to win their dump hand too, right? So like, it was fun. I did a lot of MTG Pai Gow. I had completely forgotten about it.
Gate Crash is really good for it, and I have a bunch of Gate Crash boxes because it's my favorite draft format. So, Wednesday night, get together at my place, play some Legacy or whatever. We'll just like jam Pai Gow and wait for the rest of the people.
Yes, I don't think I knew that. Gate Crash with Orzhov, right?
Yeah, I really like drafting the Simic deck.
Yeah,
I was a Boros boy for that entire time. Just get the turn 3 Battalion Dream.
It makes sense he would do that. My favorite card was the 1/4 Extort. Priest of Norn or something. Whatever the 1/4 Extort card
Yes,
is.
Corbin. Elesh Norn was on Ravnica in 2014.
I don't know any of these cards' names. I just know what they do.
Yeah.
The card you're referring to is Basilica something?
Basilica Guards?
Yes, it is.
The white 1/4 for 4.
I was right. Priest of Norn is a different 1/4.
Yes,
I wish there were more. I wish there were more.
It's not
Extort
DJ, it's
cards.
Mirrored Embassy.
It's a good mechanic, and There's like 2 playable just extort cards. It's too bad.
Well, extort's just busted in Commander.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's good.
You play Blind Obedience and people lose their minds.
It's
You know what people should blindly obey? Corbin?
I don't want to know. But
Is it our picks of the week?
No, they should blindly obey and purchase Coalesce Apparel merch from our affiliate link and
definitely
use our gift code.
Use the gift code
You should
Brainstorm
blindly
Brewery at checkout.
obedience your way over to our link to the Coalesce shop. And once you do that, it'll take you to like our stuff, which is kind of cool. We got some like cool new shirts and everything in the works. But if you click the main page, then you'll see like the Ella Schnorr Obey shirt, and that one will get in time, just in time for you to open up. And like you'll get that shirt right at the time you figure out how to list your new Phyrexia cards. So like you'll be like, oh, I've been looking at this card for 4 days, and I finally figured out it's a completed oil foil. And ding dong, oh, let me get this Amazon package and other stuff. Oh wow, my Coalesce shirt came in. Now I can put this on and hold my Ella Schnorr and feel like I'm cosplaying.
Does Coalesce still do the free booster with every shirt?
Oh, I bet they do.
Because if they do, you buy 2 t-shirts and you got a game of Pai Gow.
Yeah.
And buy EDH Rec stuff while you're there. Support
10% off
Shivum,
your total
support
order.
everybody.
So like booster packs, like Matt
Buy
said.
Jim Davis's hockey jersey and tell me what the quality's like. I'm thinking about it.
Like Matt said, booster packs have gotten so much more expensive recently. In no time at all, we will be looking at $50 booster packs. At that point, you just buy a hoodie. You're really buying a booster pack, but you're getting a free hoodie.
Wow.
Infinite money glitch.
That's such good value. Like Magic's gonna have $50 booster packs, and you're gonna be like, oh, man, I
mean, only paying $50 for a booster pack.
Yeah, I was gonna say
paying 5 times that.
When I saw they put up the double master collector boosters, and I walked into a game store and said, wait a minute, I can spend $100 on a singular pack of Magic cards. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of.
And then
please
you did
give
it.
me,
How'd it go?
Please give me one. I opened up like a fancy Renin 6. It was great. I loved it. It was worth more than $100.
No.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Didn't you say the best card in the pack was a foil Coiling Oracle? I do believe I remember that.
Well, look, I got a Renin 6, but the thing is, that was the other thing with those, because they were so
legit.
They're so expensive. You get like the cool alt Eternal Witness or Coiling Oracles that just look like amazing, and then they were worth like 50 cents. I haven't looked to see, but
people
now.
talk about the card quality going down. When I was playing that flip it or rip it game, foils are hard to rip.
Well, they look like this. Everyone who can see on YouTube. I thought I'd be cool and get some Phyrexian Dismembers for Modern, and they just came near mint TCG player unplayable. Apparently, they have to go through a wash cycle or something to straighten up. I don't know.
That's not TCG intermit anymore. It's got over a 0.5 millimeter curl or something.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, we've measured the curl. I didn't realize the curling was measured yet. Ridiculous.
You put it down, and then you measure the height of the midpoint. It's not like you're measuring curl. You're just
I understand. You can see how many
like
things.
getting out a protractor.
Nah, man. Look, you can see how many. It's about what can you fit underneath it, right? Like, can you play a full on like air hockey game underneath it? You know, just like back and forth. It's not going to get stopped by anything. That's what you measure it by. Can it float? Can you put something in it that won't get wet when you float your cards on down the river? It's a raft.
How many D20 spin downs can you put on that before it sinks in water?
I'm pretty salty about it.
The formula to determine the curl on a card, I think, is like 2 pi r squared or something.
I don't do math. That's why I do Magic.
2 times pi r squared. You're giving me calculus flashbacks.
Geometry, but go off.
I don't want to figure out the area of the sphere bounded by this equation. I don't want to do that.
Pi Gauss squared, something. We did it.
I'm going to law school. I won't need this.
That's what I said when I went to journalism school. But then they tell you, and you're like, oh, I won't need this, but you actually have to pass the college class, so you do kind of need it, it turns out.
Yeah, I'm not talking about high school calculus, man. I was
tell you
talking
that in
about
high
like
school.
differential equation.
Yeah.
Nope.
I was
Stuff nobody needs.
Not me.
I was a business major, so I just learned how to eat crayons all day.
I made it through.
I demand
one college
crayons.
math.
Supply them to me.
I made it through my one minimum college math class that I needed to, barely, and that was that. That's enough of that. No math, please. Only magic.
Math
Speaking
is
of-
for blockers.
It's true. Speaking of magic, my pick of the week this week.
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
Basically, man. Regisaur Alpha.
Seamless transition.
Regisaur Alpha from Ixalan. It's the Haste Dino. 5 mana, 4/4. Other dinosaurs you control have haste when there's a battlefield. Make a 3/3 dino with trample. It's $2. It has gone up from $1. We're going back to Ixalan. Dinosaurs are popular. It's a haste dinosaur lord. Easy $5 card when we go back to Ixalan.
I agree. Mine is also based on Ixalan. It is a double-faced card called Treasure Map that has sunk into the bottom of the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Regular back or map back?
Just the regular one, probably. I'm a big fan of volume and churning, so I think just picking the one with the higher velocity is better. This is a card that used to be like $7 or $8. I think it was mostly just because of the big treasure push in Heyday and Commander.
Yeah.
It's down to like 4 now, and I think that's a very safe pickup. It doesn't really do anything Ixalan specific, but if they try to revisit this cycle, we could see more of that, where like cards flipping into lands and doing the thing is interesting.
I feel like, I could be wrong, but I feel like that was something that Mark Rosewater or someone, I saw at some point Wizards say that was a popular part of the set. So I actually do expect
out of all the parts of
that.
Ixalan, that was probably the popular part of the set. Yes, like singular.
Well, I mean, the Merfolk were the most popular, but I understand your point.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, that block gave us some really fantastic
I lost
EDH
for
cards,
words.
though.
All
It
I
did.
remember
It did.
is that block being incredible. I don't know what y'all are talking about. Like all parts.
I
of it were
really
cool.
liked playing limited, but
I-
it was very swingy.
The limited format was not my favorite, but honestly, I think the set was pretty good as a whole. And then
Cool.
draft was good with when they added Rivals of Ixalan. I feel like the draft got.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't
All right,
have an Ixalan pick, though.
Jason, what do you got?
I got Teleportation Circle, baby. This is
Okay.
currently half on TCG Player what it is being charged for on Card Kingdom. I don't think that's sustainable. One of these two prices is wrong. I'm inclined to think the cheaper one is. Teleportation Circle, put it in your deck.
Yeah, this card's
Elish
great.
Norn is the most popular commander for the last 2 weeks. So Teleportation Circle.
You did just pick this last month, or
Really? Well, that was for a different reason.
it was,
And by last month, do you mean last year?
Yeah, it
Then
would have been
this
last
is-
year, DJ. Right?
New year, new me, new picks, baby.
I don't see it on the sheet. It's clean. He's clean.
Clean.
If you want to pay $2 for Eerie Interlude, it's probably going to get reprinted again. So don't go with a backup pick. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Teleportation Circle is great, though. I mean, it's a $5 just free blink thing forever. Only gets, at the risk of saying it only gets better. It scales with everything ever, creature-wise in the game. So yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it's... All right, Cass, what are you looking at?
I had to go kind of deep for mine for my reasoning, but I pick Azusa Lost But Seeking.
Oh, okay.
With the printing of Mycosynth Gardens in Phyrexia Albi-1, some notable affinity or amulet geniuses, Daryl Ayers and Edgar Magayish, have been building this version with no Dryads, no Valakuts, 4 Azusas, 4 Mycosynth Gardens, because Gardens plus Urza's Saga plus any Explore effect is a turn 3 Titan. Amulet and Gardens plus a Titan is a turn 3 Titan, and then like Amulet, Saga. It's just like there's like 4 other ways to make it happen, and the deck plays 4 Azusas and 4 Explorers because oftentimes those turn 2 or turn 3 Titans involve one of those Explorer or Azusa effects.
That's crazy.
The card also has a negative buy list spread on Card Kingdom. Card Kingdom is paying more than TCG Player low. The actual low price on TCG Player is higher than that, but data.
Data, right. Yeah, they just pumped out a bunch of Azusas in what, like M21 or something.
Well, that's the thing.
It was a core set rare, and then it also got an immediate Judge foil printing around that time.
There's also
and a secret lair.
Oh, it's in that
M25.
Commander Collection green, right?
No.
Yeah, I've got it. It was in Masters 25. It was in Core 21. There's a Judge promo. There's a secret lair.
It does have a secret lair coming up.
That said, that said, most of these printings were several years ago. I mean, Masters 25 is ancient. And Core Set 2021 came out in 2020. That's 3 years ago. Not super recent.
That's a great pick.
I'm on fire.
All right.
Today.
On down the line, Matt. What do you
do have a pick. Mine is one that's been climbing for a while, but I think it's got a ways to go. It's Darksteel Forge.
Okay.
So it's been on a pretty strong tear since Brothers War, way back in Brothers War. But it seems like March of the Machines is likely to continue the trend of artifact creatures and other artifacts continuing to matter.
Yeah.
And so it seems like the card still has more to grow. And I've noticed that the card is actually selling more cheaply or less expensively on Card Kingdom than it is on TCG Player.
Oh, that's rare.
Yeah, especially for a high-end card.
Well, that means it's continually selling out on TCG Player faster than Card Kingdom.
It's going up right now.
Update.
Yeah,
so,
you look at
that's
look
usually
at the graph.
When it's upside down like that, that usually means TCG players routinely selling out and readjusting daily.
And it looks like it was starting to level off recently. But I think that if we have another artifact-ish set in March of the Machines, if that's what comes to pass, Darksteel Forge could be poised to... could it double again? Well, we'll see, but it certainly looks like it's on a higher trajectory.
I'm surprised to see it go as high as it has. I'll be honest, I didn't realize it had climbed well over 20, which it has now. I remember when that was printed back in the easy days of Magic Finance. I remember they printed Darksteel Forge as sort of like the mythic expensive reprint of the Summer's Core set, which is a thing they would do with 1 or 2 cards that didn't really make a lot of sense, but they were just hitting reprints, right? And they hit Darksteel Forge, and it was like, literally, I'm looking at this, it was $2 in 2014, right?
Ooh.
It was when they reprinted it, and we all talked about how this was so good, and obviously it was.
I'm sure I bought a bunch of 2
now,
and then sold them at 5 and thought I was a genius.
Well, look, and you did fine, but the fact that the card is climbing so much now, this doesn't happen as often anymore, where Wizards kind of loses the handle on a card's price. More than ever, $20 cards get hit somewhere in a year, and sometimes they get hit multiple times in a year, and they stay $10 to $20. It's not as common for us to see $20 cards go this long, get ignored, and climb up to 40.
I was going to say it definitely has reprint risk. I'm not going to say it's a solid bet, but if we continue this trend of artifact matters, I think we'll continue to see gains here.
Yeah. It's a card where I would not suggest buying like a play set or like a bunch to try and flip, because there is a lot more risk. Like cards at that price tend to not have as good of a velocity. It is a pick of like, if you need one for your deck, now is better than next month kind of pick.
There are 2 ways you can fall on Darksteel Forge. Either this is the peak and it's going down because it's getting reprinted next set, or it's time to buy in if you want a copy for yourself because it's
because it'll be $50 after the.
There are plenty of picks where it's like, where I suggest, oh, you should buy 600 of these, Rage Extractor being the one I feel the most strongly about, but this is definitely a buy one.
Please don't pay $40 for this because you waited.
Yeah.
All right, that wraps up Pick of the Week. Here we are at an hour. We did it with 5 people. I hope it honestly felt pretty smooth. I'd like to give all of you credit for what I would call a good episode. Good work, team.
I appreciate you being my first mate on this journey, Corbin, as captain of the ship.
As captain.
I graduated from bus driver. I graduated from bus driver school. It's been a long, hard road working my way up the various modes of transportation. Finally got on a ship. Finally got the role of captain.
And
you had the same career progression as Keanu Reeves' character in the Speed franchise. First he was on a bus, and then he was on a boat.
And then you realized it was the raft.
Wow.
You realized you were in Raft World, and it wasn't that much of an accomplishment. Speaking of, Cass, you should play Raft.
I'd rather get tetanus. I've been
That's
saying
a real
that recently.
possibility.
It's a possibility.
I know nothing about this game. I'd love to play with you sometime.
Let's do it.
It's the game we all got very addicted to for a while. It's very fun. We'll have to try it sometime. But that's that. We'll look forward to that. We'll put it up on YouTube maybe. Matt, thank you once again for joining us here on the show. Where can people find you across the internet or learn more about Type 4 if they want to get into the format?
Twitter at Matt Hetzner. And you can also find me in the BSB Discord. We can talk Type 4 theory, or you can introduce me to all sorts of other random rule sets and alternate ways of playing Magic.
Yeah, that's patreon.com/BSB. We appreciate all of our supporters, our patrons, who make our Discord a great place. So, Matt, thanks again for coming on. Everybody at home, thank you for listening. I think that the next episode we'll be looking at the Pro Tour coming up, which will all be in. So we're almost there. It's almost done. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Pro Tour matters.
Hey, JJ, there's a Pro Tour next week. JJ, don't forget about the Pro Tour next week.